Hey, welcome back, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Oh my goodness. Let's see if I can get my microphone all set up here. How's it going, everybody? That's going good. Good to see everybody in the chat chiming in already. I have a whole new setup. It's been over, I don't know, like a year and a half since I live streamed coding at all. I think that we did something maybe like kickoff 2024, I think at this point. I did a few live streams, obviously, for tons for work and some events and some other interview style things. But it's been a bit of time since I've been back live coding. I've been obviously been coding and creating videos here on the channel, but I just haven't necessarily been going out and doing a bunch of live streams every single week. It's a lot of work, obviously, and I've been focusing on videos and in my spare time instead of the live stream stuff. But I wanted to do something this week, come back, because I put out this video just a few days ago about GitHub Copilot, the new agent mode instead of VS Code Insider. And I've been playing around with it a lot, and I spent quite a bit of time playing around with it, getting the video all set up and good to go for fun and giving feedback to that team. And I want to keep building that app. It was actually a pretty fun app that I built, a little coffee kind of consumption drinking app, which I'm drinking some coffee right now from Canada. Which it's not it's coffee from Canada, but not Canadian coffee. You know what I mean? Like the beans are from Canada. So I wanted to kind of get back at it. I have a whole new setup this year. If you've been following the channel, I have a whole brand new, I don't have a whole brand new office, but kind of. I haven't done an office tour. I'm actually going to, for the first time ever, do a office tour. I don't know why I put that in quotes, because it'll be a tour of the room in which my office exists. I've been working on a new minimal setup with some products for my desk, new keyboards, new like wrist rests, for example, here for my mouse, but also for my keyboard as well, which is nice. And I've streamlined everything as much as I can to be minimal and out of the way. And I now have a Mac Mini as my main, main device, basically. I used to have a custom built PC, and I still do. It's sitting over there, so I gotta like clean it all out and do stuff, things like that. But yeah, I've been running my Mac Mini M4 Pro now for a while, so I've been really focusing on setting that machine up. So it's my first time streaming in OBS. In fact, most of the videos up until like 2 or 3 or 4 ago or so, I think when I did those initial videos, were shot all on my custom built Windows PC. So I'm still getting used to my editing software, different keyboard stuff. I never really used Mac OS full time at all, and it's very fascinating. It's interesting. Frank and I've talked about it on the podcast about how I like it and don't like it all at the same time. I got some new artwork, some new monkeys, some new Lego stuff. I have a different angle now. Like my camera used to be up here, so I used to see that. It's still my Grego's artwork here, and some other stuff back here. So I'll probably like rearrange a few things, but I'm always sort of playing around. So then my main monitor is here, so when I'm coding, I'll probably be looking like all over the place, right? It's kind of hard. Maybe I put it over here, codes here, but then I usually code here. It's a little bit hard based on where I want to set up as well. But I have this all set up now, so I'm pretty excited about that. I got my live chat going, things like that. It should be totally good to go. Yeah, and I can zoom in and out as well with like my just normal camera, which is the same camera I've been recording videos on. This is the same like actual microphone I've been using for like a decade, I think. But yeah, just really clean my desk off for work every day. Underneath here, I have my Project Voltaire machine, which means underneath my desk there is extremely minimal cords at all, because nothing's down there. So just like cords coming from my machines and one solo sort of strand are coming down. So that's the case there, which is really cool. So I'm going to do a tour. I'm going to have my wife record it, I think, on my camera, do a tour, me talking, doing stuff. I need to figure out my audio, get like a wireless audio thing for it. But I had a lot of questions about the setup as well in here. So I have a switch in here, and then I have my nice little Xbox controller here on the little stand. It's a mini preview that I got, and then for use Xbox game streaming with Game Pass. I've also been playing some PC games. Like, the game streaming is crazy. You can use your mouse and keyboards, like playing the Age of Mythology or whatever the new one is, and that was pretty cool. All right. Yeah, I think it's about it for my life. Everything has been going pretty good. It's been a while. Obviously, the video's been rolling there. Yeah, I shared a link for GitHub Copilot free mode. Some big news, obviously, in December is that, with GitHub Copilot, which is available in, VS Code, Visual Studio, like NeoVim, JetBrains IDEs, Xcode, and things like that. There's a free mode as well, and you get most of the features, not all the features, but most of the features. If you actually go through the grid and look at like the comparison between the free mode and the pro mode, and then you get 2,000 code completions a month, which is quite a bit, and those reset every month. I think it's at the start of the month. I don't think it's like 30 days. I think it's just like at the beginning of the month. I haven't verified that. I know Manuel, I think, was asking about that. So they reset basically. And you can always do a trial for the pro mode as well. So you can always start a free 7-day trial if you want to there, which is really cool. So you can try out the features, get the completions in there. I'm not necessarily sure how, like, obviously the agent mode is compatible or not with it. I feel like that would be a lot of tokens. I'm not positive on that, to be honest with you. I'd have to ask the team in general, but yeah, hopefully you get some new music in the background, chilling. This is the Stream Beats stuff, so it's license free, which I've always used on the channel. Fritz shared that with me, which is really great. So we've been doing that for a while, and some of his music also is in the background as well of many of my videos. So hopefully you hear that. Let me know if it's too loud. I can adjust. I got the chat live, just boom up here. I'm actually gonna zoom it in so I can see a little bit better. Oh yeah, there we go. Boop, boop. Oh, there we go. Perfect. I can see it like huge as well. And then you can also, like, I can gift some memberships as well. I think I can gift away some memberships. There's an option that you can, like, say, do I want to accept gifting of memberships to the channel? You get emojis. I usually drop videos first on there, but I'll gift away a few on here for y'all as well. There you go. Boom. So now you can have a month gift membership as well, which is cool. It doesn't cost anything. So it's just boom, you're gifted into it, which is nice. And a bunch of channels do that, which is cool. I'll do another one here in a little bit. Ads will play throughout. YouTube's gonna algorithmically insert some ads here and there. So hopefully it's not too annoying, and I don't actually know how that works at all. So there's that, which is great. But okay, let's hop over to it. I'm just gonna kind of get into it in general. I've been working with the live stream stuff as well to make it so the VS Code and the Copilot window and everything is like nice up there. So let me know if it's hard to see. I'm going to try to put it in my face in the top right. And of course you can find me on Mastodon, Blue Sky, X, LinkedIn. It's just my name, James Montemagno, or on Blue Sky, it's james.montemagno.com, which is cool as well. So all right, cool. And then I have links to the source code below, and all to the different features we're going to be using. We're going to use the new agent mode, and agent mode is really cool because if you used edits allows you to do multi-file editing. So you can basically go in and you can say, hey, listen, I want to basically kind of not just like ask or get suggestions about the currently open file that's going on. I want to be able to chat and get completions across multiple files, add things into the workspace in which I'm working to add new features and give recommendations and then apply the changes. Agent mode is a little bit different. It's kind of like a hybrid between the two modes and Ghost Text, where it is, for all intents and purposes, like analyzing everything in real time, making suggestions and implementing them in real time, and then self-correcting itself and guiding you along the way for steps that you may need to execute in the terminal, for example. So it's able to add like NuGet packages, run builds, it can launch emulators and simulators, it can do anything like the terminal can do, for example, if you give it permission and you're running those commands at the click of a button. But what's cool about it is that, like, if you had code already and it's like modifying the code, it will look for warnings and errors and then fix those as well that are going on. Or you could say, hey, refactor this and new thing, and it'll do it across. I'm a little sick under the weather, well, so hopefully I'm not too bad here. The other thing is that there's next edit suggestions. Hey, Alan, it's going good. Next edit suggestions is cool because it allows the Ghost Text to basically allow you to kind of trickle in. So if you make a change up top, it'll look at the rest of the code and recommend the tabbing throughout. So if you added another field, for example, in a file, or maybe another variable or something in a constructor, it would basically figure out where else in the code you might want to add that and then let you tab through it, which is cool. And then there's another new feature as well, which is changing the default GitHub Copilot code suggestions. That's that like ghost text, they call it, that gray text that pops up. And normally it's GPT-3.5 turbo custom model, but now there's a GPT-4o custom Copilot model as well, which is really cool. So let's go ahead and let's go to the computer. Let's see if that works. Cool. Okay, cool. So I'm up here. Ooh, I'm in the top right. Okay, I'm in the top right. Perfect. So this is the app that I was building here. So this is this little coffee application. I have a pretty high res monitor, so I still need to figure that out for streaming and stuff like that. But basically it allows me to go in and allows me to add coffee. So today I'm going to say that this is a Costa Rica. From Costa Rica, I can say I brewed about 12 ounces or so. I'm going to hit add coffee, and then boom, we get, hey, Sunday, I drank some coffee, right? So this is what I got. And then I have little statistics view that uses a Sync Fusion control to show me the last 7 days of coffee consumption that I have. So you can imagine this would be pretty sweet to be able to actually track this and like to do a bunch of stuff with it. So the first thing that many people pointed out here was that that I spelled Colombian wrong because I'm a terrible typer and speller in general. So yes, it's an O, not a U, and I spelled it twice wrong for some reason, which is great. So this is the little app that I was building, and this has a SQLite database, has MVVM work and things like that. So if I go in and show you this, what it's looking like, let me make my, I don't want to make this, let me do settings, font size. There we go. Let's do like 16 maybe. Let's see how that looks. Let's do like 18 maybe. Yeah, that looks pretty okay. And then, oh, actually that goes across the terminal too. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Okay, so it added a bunch of stuff for us. So I have like view models here. So I'm just using the MVVM community toolkit in here, which is nice. And then it's using a database as well. So it's doing like groupings, clearing things out. It actually updates this little text here. It has a coffee service, which is a little database that it's creating for us here. And then, yeah, it has a get coffee, add coffee in here. And then a little statistics view model. And that's like taking everything from the database, parsing everything, grabbing all the information, and grabbing everything for us and parsing that data into, if I go into my views, my statistics page, which is using that Sync Fusion chart here, which is cool. So, and if you haven't watched that video, check it out because I basically did all of that in 20 minutes. And Jeremy said it here in the chat. I said I watched the agent video yesterday. It blew his mind, which is cool. I got my Maui app running in VS Code, so you can start using it. Oh, stoked. Awesome. Could you run the sample, Jose asks, in Linux using WSL? I mean, a Maui app, there would be zero reason to do that, but because you would just be running it on Android and WSL, but then you would need like emulators and simulators, so that wouldn't make any sense. But there's nothing stopping you from like running, let's say, a .NET app or any app that you're writing with any programming language in WSL. You know what I mean? So there, yeah. Oh yeah, feel free to ask questions and things like that along the way too. And Alan, I would encourage you, Alan, if you're looking for Maui job market and growth stuff, check out the not just the keynote from David, but the entire session from .NET Conf where they talk about the kind of explosive growth of Maui in the App Store and things like that. So that's definitely the way to look. But at least the usage is growing steadily nice as well, and the customers adopting it, which is pretty great too. So especially if you're a .NET developer. So yeah. All right, cool. So let's see. So here, all I have, if you haven't checked it out, is basically a very minimal setup here because I just, obviously set up this machine, but I have like just the C# dev kit, Maui extensions, Copilot extensions, and then this VS Code search. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to click on this edits button, and then down here you're going to see this little agent mode, and you can toggle between different ones. It might be cut off, but I'm going to use Claude. I just found that right now with Claude, I seem to get the best results. So let's try this. Let's add another way. Let's do not that. Hold on. Boop. Okay. let's add a way to edit one of the coffee entries that we've added. So it'd be nice to be able to tap on one of them and then go to a page where I can edit the details of it. Okay, so I like to use voice to text, obviously, so it makes it a lot easier here. All right, cool. So it's basically doing a few things. It's going to look through the code base. It's going to figure out what it needs to do, add navigation, and hopefully do stuff for us. Mona asks, is the .NET Windows application based on WinUI 3 and does it perform the same? Yes, exactly the same, and Android and iOS as well. So I just have to run it on Mac because I'm just here on my Mac. But yeah, it'd work exactly the same basically. So basically imagine you were going in and you were implementing this feature. You would probably do a few things such as like check out the coffee model, check out the coffee service. What do I need to do? And see, it's going to first create an edit page, add an update method to the service, add navigation to the main page, and edit the coffee view model. So here it's going to edit coffee view model. It's going to update the service here. So it's going to just update async in the database. That's pretty simple. And then it's going to add an entire edit page for us. That's cool. And then it has a little bit of code behind. So it's going to do some dependency injection there into it. That's nice. And then let's see what it does for the main page. I'm going to just drop this down as well. And it's going to have a little relay command in our view model, which is going to take in a coffee, pass in a coffee, go to async, edit coffee page. Cool. And then it's going to take a look at our main page. So again, I'm just letting it do its thing basically, which is great. And I think obviously what's fascinating is like, this is code that I would have wrote anyways, right? It's like not anything super crazy magical in general. Ooh, upbeat song. There we go. Yeah. And yeah, I think G says getting better at writing the prompts. Yep. That's my big thing too, is like, as I get better, it's like, okay, let it be more detailed. But of course I was working off, oh my gosh, look at this. It's going to add a route in here. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, people. When I started, like, so now it's doing all these checks. So look, it's saying, oh, I modified all these things. I'm going to check to see what's happening basically inside of here. I noticed an error. It says where the coffee field needs to be marked as nullable since it'll be initialized via navigation. So it's going to fix things as well. Okay. So it looks like it did it. Let me say view output. Cool. All right. That looks good. All right. So our main page, it looks like it added a little tap gesture recognizer here. Okay. That did that. It's nice. Ancestor binding. Our Maui program, it added a new transient, which makes sense because it is navigating over to that every time. Update coffee async. If it was me, like, right, I'd probably do some checks in here, do a bunch of like, does it exist already? XYZ in the database, for example. I'd do like an adder update, but good enough. And then this view model. Whoa, cool. It's going to do a whole query property. Oh, that's rad. Yeah. And the cool part is like, I'd started the other application blank, right? So I had to give it a lot more context of like what I wanted it to do. But now, for example, it knows that I just want it to use the coffee service. I want it to be able to pass in things, save a coffee. It's going to go to async backwards. Cool. There, which is nice. Yeah. In there. So here's the main page and go from there. So I like to hit keep and just kind of see what happens as well. So let's see if I can do this. I'm going to do a new branch. I'm going to say live coding 02 23 2025. Let's do that. Cool. Just so we have it in the branch. And all this code's on GitHub, so you can check it out as later as well. All right, so let's go over to my program and let's run it here. Let's see what happens. Let's see if it runs. Ooh, I don't know. So we'll see. And this should compile up, hopefully. So right now, this is just using the agent mode, right? 100% across the board there. And the agent mode, like I was building out the entire application before, but I think like I would think it very much task-based, right? So like when I'm here, see that there's a done button. And I think if I'm done with this prompt and I'm done with these files specifically, then it would be fine to be able to sort of clear it out. Boom. So I tap on it. Let me go back here. Let me go to Colombian. There we go. Put an O in there. Thank you. Save. Okay, so it's pretty clear that it maybe saved it. Oh, okay, so it definitely saved the one, but it didn't refresh the list basically, right? So there's no like refresh here. So let's do this. When I navigate back from the edit coffee page, can we make sure that we refresh the list of coffees? So just let it see what it's going to do now. Oh, interesting. Okay. On that, yeah. So this, no, yeah. Interesting. I'm always interested to see like what it's trying to do too. Like I think it's like trying to say, oh, like I'm iNavigation aware. Whoa. Okay, interesting. It's implementing an entire in there as well. It's gonna like implement an entire iNavigation aware, on navigated to, on navigated from. All right. Whoa, that's cool. So it's gonna say whenever it navigated to, navigated from, and then refresh itself. That's actually pretty smart. That's not bad. That's a lot of people ask me, how do I do in review model binding all up? Like, how do I work on that? And this would be kind of how I do it. So, you know, this says made all the changes. The view model will now refresh the data whenever the page is loaded, which includes returning from the edit page. This means the list will automatically update. The implementation uses standard Maui navigation life cycles. You should now see your coffee. All right, so I'm gonna hit keep again. And I guess I need to stop debugging. Let me go ahead and just debug again here. So yeah, that's fascinating. I mean, it did actually create an entire, did it actually create a, interesting. Yeah, you might actually want to create like an entire base page to inherit from. And then like, if you do implement iNavigate to, then you can navigate to it. That's fascinating. Okay, so it's there. So let's say I typo something again. So I'll say Colombian again, and I'll say 16 ounces, add coffee. If I tap on it, change it, and hit save. Oh, perfect. Now it's back. So great. So now I just updated and refreshed there. So that looks good. Okay, cool. Done. Done. I like it. That's cool. All right, feature implemented at this point, which is great. So I can tap on it. Let's do one more thing here. Can we add a little chevron to show that there's some navigation possible on each of the coffees, like on the far right side? I don't actually know if it knows what I'm talking about here, but we'll see if it does. What I was thinking is that like on the page here, like there could be like a little chevron, kind of like very iOS-y, right? That shows you could tap to edit it, for example. Ooh, chevron icon. All right, cool. Oh, look at this. Wow, we can use Maui's built-in Fluent system icon. Whoa, that's dope. So gonna make some changes here. And it's gonna add another column here, an image, chevron right. Does that work with PNG? I don't know what that does. Oh, whoa. We need to add the chevron icon. Where did it even get that from? Whoa. Oh my gosh. I don't know where it got it from, but that's cool. Oh, wow. That's neat. All right, let me update the CS proj. It actually probably doesn't need to include the CS proj. Oh, interesting. Whoa, okay. Okay, so it's actually going in and it is adding a resource. Okay, it didn't actually need to do that, but there's a binding compilation error we need to fix. It probably needs to has an explosive set sort property. Let's see what that says. I don't think you need the PNG necessarily. It's not. Oh. All right, we're gonna see what it's gonna do. It says, I noticed that despite enabling the binding compilation, we're still getting the same error. Let's try a different approach. Interesting. So now it's kind of in this mode where it's looking at this output and trying to like fix things up, basically these binding warnings and errors on it. So I'm curious if it is going to be able to fix it or not. I don't think so. This is one where I've noticed that it is quite tricky in general. Chevron icon must be there. All right. It says, so this is something. So it's saying like, hey, listen, I keep getting this warning, but I've given up trying to fix it. So it's a warning. It won't affect functionality. The chevron icon should appear. The icon is out of size. Should be aligned to the right size. Colored it gray. All right. Should work in light and dark themes. You should see the icon. That's cool that it knew at least. All right, let's keep those. Let's run it as well. I'm going to rerun it here. Let's see what happens. Oh, okay. So let me show errors here. All right, so it looks like there was some error. So I'm going to remove this because I don't think it needs it in general. So I'm going to save that. Let me recompile here and see if that fixes it for us. Let me close all maybe too. Because it added it just to our image folder. So I think the resizetizer needs to actually do it, which is good. So, oh, hey, Luce. Yeah, it should be in the show notes below. Good to see you. I should, let me make you, I bet the link didn't work, but let me set you as a moderator. So then you should be good. Let me do that. So now you should be able to, I think you can post it loose now as well. Hope you're doing well. It's been a while since I saw you. So it's a while since I live streamed. So, okay, cool. So let's see. Did it actually run into problems? Oh, it did. Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting. Resizetizer errors. Let's see. Let me open in Finder. Looks like it's there. Okay. It may or may not be a problem. Is it gonna let me run it? Let me see. Getting too fancy with it. So this is the binding one is a tricky one. Yeah, so I think did it add the thing up here? Oh, and this one did seem to launch. I know what I'm pretty sure I know what the binding thing is. There, yeah, and I think it was, the funny part, it was right the first time as well, when it was like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and modify it with not the SVG, but just, you know, either with or without the name. So it should be here, the chevron, and so yeah, it's definitely not there right now because of that. So let's do that. PNG, boop. Do I have the hot reload on? Oh no, I don't. Oh no, I do have it on. Okay, so there's there. So now it's there. Yay! All right, cool. So now I can tap on it. Boom, good to go. Awesome. So now we can put that there as well. Nice. Okay. Thanks, Luce. Perfect. So now we have that in there as well, which is nice. Okay. So let's go ahead and end this mode. So if you hit done, we're going to be there in general. So we kind of ended that session, right, for it. And then you can always kind of get there and do stuff. So let's do this. One thing I'm pretty sure I need to do for this data binding, and this is new, is I think I need to do a x:\data type equals view models dash. I think is what I need to do. This is like some new thing that they added to get rid of the warning. I think it'll do it. That one's really complicated there. So I think that one will do it. And this is, like this is a warning in which if it was me, if it was me, I would probably just ignore this warning. It's like very upsetting. It's like a XAML compilation bug, basically. That's the issue there that's happening. And it's because we specified the X data type up here, but we didn't necessarily this binding inside the relative source binding is something in which I fixed in the Maui workshop. So if I was to go over here and go into finish, and then let's look here, view here, it's because I have like a child binding, but I'm pretty sure this is correct. So here's that very similar tap gesture recognizer with the data type, with the path. So that should work. But it does look like maybe the warning's not going away. Let me see if I can run it and see if that, oops, that just goes away or not. Because sometimes you have to run it for it to go away. You know what I mean? In general. Yumori asks, how is the coding with Copilot? Well, I did enable, if you go into this here, there's a new configure code completions, and you can change the model. And we actually turned on this new GPT-4o Copilot preview as well. We haven't written any code because it's been writing all the code for us at this point, which is great too. Wait, that seemed to work, but yeah, that warning is still there. So, oh no, the warning did go away. Okay, that's good. Oh, it's Android stuff. So like here, for example, I could, oh, it actually has the VM in there. That's cool. So let's see if we can do X data type. Cool. All right, that looks good. Yeah, I don't know, it's pretty good. On this one, so that should definitely update it across the board. So that should be good. Yeah, see, like the binding warnings don't go away until you actually, I think, rebuild it. You know what I mean? Which I think like is probably good feedback for that team, because like here I've added the data type, and then that sometimes can be problematic, or like maybe it does it eventually. I'm not positive. So let's see. Where's my output? Did it build it? No. Debug output? Comments, terminal? Oh, there we go. There we go. It should hopefully go away. I don't know what that warning is all about. Something about something. So that should be it. Because watch this. If I run it, it'll go away. Jeremy says, no, I don't think so. I had a pretty great conversation with my wife yesterday about a lot of this. I think for me, this is, okay, I've implemented a bunch of code, but like, I didn't like review this code. You know what I mean, I did review this code, but I didn't like review this code. You need to be able to save time, effort, and energy on things. Like for me, like we have Copilot code review edits on everything. Like it finds like little typos, little things in general. It's just like delightful. I mean, agent mode is great because it is legitimately just like saving me time for code I would have wrote anyways. So now, for example, I might come back in here and I might say, okay, like what I want to do here is maybe I'll do like a, you know, async task of init, for example. Yeah, and this is what I would want it to do. And I don't want to do that, but we'd want to do this. And let's say I did like, for example, bool, yeah, is initialized. Oh my gosh, so good. Cool, that's cool. And then it's initialize equals true. Add a database. That's pretty much all I would need to do there. And then, yeah, I could then wait on this. And then let's see here. I could say if initialize async. And then I think here, so there's this next edit suggestion, and it doesn't look like it has one, so that's of interest. I'm interested here if I change something. I'll say if, there you go. That's cool. Ooh, think it's going to do that, but it's actually not a bad idea when you add a coffee that it's there, but we're going to let it go. And then, oh, this is the next edit suggestion, which I don't think is correct now. So we'll do this. We'll say, there we go. I don't know, this code completions, that's the new model there, right? So that's a lot really there, which is really good. So that's some of the new stuff. I think the next edit stuff is trying to tell me, oh, hey, like you could update the is deleted. So there we go. So it's kind of like, that's the next edit stuff where it's like, hey, you just did this. You just did this. We have the add coffee, get coffee, add coffee, update coffee. Do you want to do this one as well? So it's kind of like, hey, here's what I think you want to do basically. And this would be like my James best practice of like what I like to do to initialize databases in general. And then for example, I might want to do a Copilot button here. I could say, can we first check to see if the coffee exists in the database before trying to delete? And then I can change a model on here. Ooh, there's a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know. Let me try Gemini Flash. Try out, see what it does. I don't know. Oh, there we go. Perfect. So this is going to like see if it exists first and then see, you know, where in general. Perfect. Accept. Cool. So easy enough there, right? So there's a little bit like, oh, do I want to write that code or not, right? So Carlos, Kahlo, that's a cool name. Commercial context, would you code review changes from sessions like this yourself via human colleague? Both. So yeah, I would say like, how would I review the code edit stuff? So like I obviously did this in a branch, so I'd make a PR and then I would have GitHub Copilot. Well, you can do, let's see here. So let me add this little Copilot button. I don't write any commits myself, right? I just boom, do this. So let's say I did this commit, save all commit. Yeah, that sounds good. And then publish that branch. And then, sure. And then I would, where's the pull request button? Where is the pull request button? I'm so used to, oh, I don't have, let me do that. GitHub pull request. There we go. I was like, oh, I'm like, where's the pull request button? Oh, I didn't have it enabled. I was like, that's why. Oh, there we go. Oh, wow. So good. All right. So let's edit pull request. Yeah. Edit navigation. So here I would do like add. Yeah. Add. Yeah, that's true. So here, then you could do a GitHub Copilot review as well, like from VS Code here. You can also do it in GitHub as well. So like, to me, everything that we do is obviously human reviewed as well. Like I'm reviewing it first as Copilot's, like the agent mode is writing this, right? So I'm actually reviewing it in real time. And then I am committing the code. I'm like obviously looking and understanding like what's going on here in the commit and in other places. And then I'm doing a code review with Copilot. I might do it before I do the pull request or for everyone. And then I'm going to have people sign off on it basically to do that as well. So I've actually never used this Copilot code review in VS Code yet. So this is kind of cool to kind of see it in action as well. We'll see what happens. I don't know. It's doing stuff. Oh, cool. Oh, man. Oh, look at this. Whoa. Ooh. Wow. That's cool. Semaphore Slim. So this is fascinating too. Is like, yeah, so this is great. So there's multiple things. So it's like saying, hey, like you should use a Semaphore Slim here to make sure like this actually doesn't have a race condition. So for me, because I'm very single thread oriented when it comes to it. So we'll do that. So let's go ahead and apply. Oh, amazing. Yeah, this one is saying, like, yeah, you can't Oh, interesting. On navigated to async. Okay, so this is saying like we should make on navigated to async. This is in the pages main view model because we're loading the coffees async. So you'd want to get away from that. So let's apply that in general. So, and then my assumption is that I would want to then check it again, right? So here, I don't actually know if this is going to run 100%. I bet here, right? So we would want to like await on that. And then, oh, do I have that? I don't know if that did. Yep, that would be the suggestion. I can't change that to task. It was a little aggressive there changing it. That's true. Unnavigated from. Perfect. Okay, so did that. And then, yep, next edit suggestion. So that's the next edit suggestion there as well, which is pretty cool. So doing that as well. I don't know if it actually did. On navigated to async. Okay, let's see if that compiles up here. So some of the best practices, I didn't even give it a file as far as like if I wanted it to do specific things. Okay, cool. So it looks like it, oh, it didn't actually change these. That's funny. So code review came in, it changed the code, but didn't actually update this. That's funny. Okay, cool. Let's do that. And then there we go. That's the next edit suggestion. Boom, did it. Okay, cool. Maybe the code review was across multiple files. I didn't see it, but it could have. Let's see if that builds up now. Let's build. Okay. I think that did build. Oh, yeah. This one should maybe, yeah, there we go. It's all good. I already have it, so we'll just exit out of that. Perfect. Okay, cool. So let's run it again and see. Fahim says, what have I missed? So far, we added a brand new piece of functionality. I'll run the app again to basically be able to edit a coffee in my coffee list. We use GitHub Copilot agent for that. Now we're just exploring some of the new model stuff. We did a GitHub Copilot code review, for example, as well, which is good. And yeah, we had these little chevrons in here. So I can tap on one, go here. So I want to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to do a James thing here too. So I would probably do something like add a new file. I'm going to say a class. I'm going to do a settings service. There, okay. And then I am going to implement a public bool has coffee. Oh, you know what? I don't even need to do that. I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to do a there's a few ways of doing this. I basically don't want to refresh the list if I don't have to. So I think what I would want to do is how would I want to implement that? Okay, well, let me commit these files first, maybe into this PR there as well. Let's see. So what all did I change with this? I did add a settings service, but I didn't use it yet. There's a few ways of me doing this. Like I could, for example, do a preference where I say like, you know, modified coffee, and then I would know that I would need to refresh that. That's one way of doing it. But let's do the thing that I think I want to do. I want to see what how Copilot would edit this. So let's go here. I'm going to go back into the edit agent mode. I would like to track if a coffee has been edited and only refresh the list on the main page if we actually edited a coffee. so it doesn't refresh every single time. So again, there's a few ways of doing this in general, and we'll see what it is going to do. Yeah, there's a few ways that it could do this in general. So I'm interested to see, like, I might use a preference so it's stored, but you don't really necessarily need to. You could use like a static Boolean, which would be there. You could say, is database dirty? But then who's going to decide? You might do a date time stamp, for example, like when it is there in general. So I'm kind of, oh, wow, amazing. Yeah, this also is smart as well. Here is, it is going to go in, and this is adding a parameter. So it's saying like, oh, you did edit this, and then it's going to add this parameter on as well, which is also very smart. And then on the main view model, it's going to, is it going to, oh, fascinating. It is going to, I don't know if it needs to do that. Oh, it just is modifying a few things. It's passing in the coffee. I don't know. It's an, oh, it doesn't necessarily, okay, fascinating. On navigated 2, it's going to check to see, oh, interesting. Does that work? I don't actually know. So it's, it says there was an error. Huh. It's like optimize some code. Okay, so when an edit is coffee is edited, let me just keep these here. Look at the changes. Let's do this. Is coffee edited? Observable property on the edit coffee view model, and then it's gonna set that. It doesn't actually need it. It doesn't actually need to be like a public string. It doesn't need to be observable. So like we might change that. And then the other thing it did is it, okay, here we go. Query property is edited. Oh, edited is edited property. That should bind. This should come here. I don't know why I did that. Oh, is edited false. Okay, cool. I think that should actually work. Let me go ahead and like run this. Sorry, like the code editor is like so big. So let me do this here. So what I want to do is I want to debug this. Oh, I did date. I don't know why it did that. Probably for an optimization of some sort. I think like it did some changes here. It did change display date. Why did it do that? Why did it do that? Yeah, see, it deleted display date. Why did it do that? I don't know why it did this in general. So I'd probably want to not do that. Let me revert those back. I do like that it optimized code, but then also didn't. So like I think here what I would do is I would go into the main page here, and then I would do this. I'd probably do a get. And then here I would do this. There we go. Okay. Fix my code, thank you. And then I would do, again, I would do a get here. There we go. And then I would do this. I would do total ounces equals that. Not even coffees. Yeah, could be coffees. Yeah, okay. There you go. Oh, that's smart. There's a display date. So there's this and that, and then it actually doesn't need this date to be public at all. Like you could at this point delete this date if it's only a date time, but we could keep it as well. So I think that is accurate. So I think what I want to do here is I pass the coffee down, coffee, and then when it navigates to, okay, it's gonna do that. So that is probably the better way of doing this, I would say. And then the thing I would do is I would just remove this here, and then because it doesn't need to be public, and then I would, yeah, just do this. Actually, you don't even need that because like, oh, actually, like you should check to see if so we're binding directly to these properties. Yeah, what I would want to do is update the edit coffee view model so we store the previous values, and before we save the coffee and say if the coffee is edited, we check to see if values actually changed or not. So that's probably what I would want to do is I want to say like, hey, listen, like do I actually want to, you know, do this type of stuff as well. So yep, there we go. Cool. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, interesting. Oh, yeah, interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah, so there we go. So we're storing out the original information basically into this, passing it through. It really wants to make that observable property, so I'm gonna let it do its thing in general. Okay, so it's fixing itself. Cool. So it's it should be math.abs, not lowercase abs. Correct. There you go. Good work. Yeah. So if it has changed, make it true, do these things, else just go backwards. Ah, smart. Yeah, that's better. All right, a small epsilon value used for comparison. That looks good. So that's better because now it's going to actually say like, has the coffee changed, right? Here. There's no way for this coffee to be null in general. But I think that if it, you know, is null, I'm in edit. Wow, I'm in. Cannot edit in read only mode. Okay. Fascinating. All right, let's see if we can run it again and see what this does. So this is, I don't know if that's accurate or not. Well, that's fascinating too. I guess like has changed false. Okay, yeah. Okay, so is edited is false. That's good. Unnavigated to. So, oh, interesting. Oh, how does it load the coffees? Oh, it's loading them here. Oh, wait. It's loading in here. Okay, cool. So let's do this. So actually, we don't need to do this. So we could say like, is edited. I guess that'd equal to true first. All right, yeah. Now let's do like, let's create the view model and say like, is edited equals true. And then that way it's going to actually load the coffees the first time and then go through it. Okay, cool. Let's do that. Because I was thinking like, as I'm coming in here, like, yeah, the very first time you navigate to, then you want to do it basically, which is good. Well, Gherkin, well, cursor is the difference with GitHub Copilot is that it works across many code editors and IDEs. So if you're using VS Code or Visual Studio or Xcode or JetBrains and IntelliJ or NeoVim or things like that, you install the extensions everywhere. So you have chat, you have Copilot edits, you have an agent mode, you have next edit suggestions in there. You have GitHub Copilot reviews on the web. You can also use GitHub Copilot on the web as well, obviously. So, it's basically being able to do that. There's a free mode to GitHub Copilot as well, so you can just give it a try. And obviously, everyone's coding preferences are different, but I prefer GitHub Copilot in general. That's because I obviously work at Microsoft, so that is one thing. But also, just because I use VS Code and Visual Studio every single day inside of here. So, okay, let's actually change this. Okay, so here we have into here. Perfect. Okay, cool. Let me continue on. Perfect. And there's multiple models of all things. So let's change this to like 20. Hit save. Is edited is true because I set it. Navigating back. And then now we have 20. Perfect. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, give GitHub Copilot a try, especially if you're using VS Code and all extensions and things like that you already have and love. It'd be good to go. And then obviously, yeah, it works anywhere as well. So I'm not like sure a comparison like feature breakdown there, XYZ. But yeah, the agent mode is like super fantastic, and Copilot Edits is super fantastic. And we're using a lot of the new features too. So it seems like the team's coming out with new stuff every time. Check out the VS Code YouTube and definitely check that out. And I have some videos here as well in the new agent mode. So. All right, so now if I go back, what we don't want to see is it refresh. So edited. Oh, edit is true. Has changed, did it? I'm interested. Okay, so let's see. Tap on it. This one's a little bit. Costa Rica. Might not be like the best way of 12. Date added. So it should be exactly the same. I don't have a time on it actually, funnily enough, but. All right, where's it? How's it going back? Is it true? Oh, fascinating. I'm gonna see one more thing here. My debugging capabilities of like, one, it shouldn't be going there. Who is setting it to true? Navigation commands. How would it? Let me see. I'm fascinated. Like, if I override. I don't want to do anything. I just want to see if it changed. Let's see. I'm not actually sure why exactly. So every observable property like has these extension methods that you can implement. So you can see like did it actually change and who changed it? Who changed it? Only thing I can think of is that the query property sets a value accordingly. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. It changed. All right. And then if I click and I click back, click, click. Why is that? Oh, it's false. Oh. Why is it setting is edited to false inside of the is edited? Yeah, setting it to false because we want to basically reset after we loaded it. Like so we navigate and the navigation is telling us that we edited. It seems like it's working now. I don't know why necessarily. Maybe something didn't get saved in here. Let me try one more time. So yeah, that way it doesn't try to reload every single time, basically. Hey, John. Oh, thanks. I'm glad you enjoyed the Aspire videos. Rad. So let's I think toggle these all off so we can just and only maybe toggle on this one. Okay. Oh, toggle it back on. Okay. Boom. Boom. False. Okay. It definitely seems to be working then. Save. Edited. True. Edited. False. I don't know. I'm so crazy. All right. Correct. All right. And then, no, you should not quit your career as a dev. Click. Save. Why is that true? See, that's weird. Like that shouldn't be. It's like once it gets set to true, it's not sending it back. Okay, let me put this back. The only thing I can't really think of a specific reason why it's actually doing this. Why is it doing it? The world would like to know why. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, cool. So edit value, false. It's edited. All right, cool. And then we want to change it first to 20. Hit save. So we get rid of this breakpoint, and then we really only want to ever go into this or that. Okay, cool. Has changed. Cool. True. True. False. False. Okay. All right. And then click. Save. Goes back. Oh, who's setting it to true? Who is setting it to true? But who? Oh, fascinating. It's like this parameter is stuck in the context of it. So this is setting it back. I wonder if there is a way. That's fascinating. It's like, why would it do that? It's like the query property didn't exist when it navigated back. So it is resetting the query property to true. Oh, that's funky. Is there a way to give it a default? That'd be cool. No, there is not. That would be nice. Interesting. It looks like whenever I navigate back to this page, but I don't pass it a query parameter, that it's setting the is edited to true. Is there a reason why? So I guess I'll ask Copilot, I don't know. Yeah, it's created, sure. It's likely causing, oh yeah, that's fine. Checks his value. No. Yeah, I know I could do that. Yeah, I mean, that's not going to change anything. I mean, technically I could do like what I would do is I would probably do like, or, yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I would do. And then make sure, yep, so that's not, so I would do that. Yeah, I think what's fascinating is like, let's do this. Is there a way to check if a query property is being passed in here? Let's try with GPT-4o. I don't know. Whoa. Oh, maybe. I don't know. Does that work? Does that work? How do I comment something out in VS Code? Oh, wait. Command /. Whoa, cool. I just learned something. Okay. If I override on. Well, it's in the view model. Oh, yeah. That is true. I see. So yeah, what I would need to do is, okay, let me go here. Can we update it, the navigated to async, to include navigation parameters so we can check to see if the is edited is actually included in the parameters that are passed in from the page? So this is getting called from the main page here. So like ideally we should be able to pass in these event arguments and then check to see if that thing is there. So let's see if that actually did it or not. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's correct. I was gonna pat. Okay, yep. Args.data. Does that work? Maybe. So just modifying and editing some code here. So nullability passed in. Yo, what is the... Oh, fascinating. I don't think that's actually correct. Don't actually know if that is the navigation state that's coming in. See what it's going to try to do. See, it's just like kind of self-correcting itself, trying to at least. Let's see. Was that correct? Okay, so this is the code behind. Okay, let's see if it... Still getting this error. Let's try one more approach. Okay, so it's gonna... that is what it's trying to do. We'll see what it's actually trying to do or not. It should be able to grab the things from it, though. Yeah, it didn't actually pass it in. Let me go ahead and stop it, and let's just see here. What is in our args? Args dot. Okay, let me just keep it, I guess, and I'll fix it from here. So let's see. Var. Why is it an edit only mode? Let's close all. Var data equals args dot. Yeah, how come like oh, interesting. It is a good question. Let me open dotnet Maui navigated to. All right, let's take a look at the documentation. All right, cool. Sometimes navigation events. Okay, so on navigating, how do I parse those out? It's not exactly what I wanted. S data. Receive navigation data. Oh, interesting. This is saying I need an iQuery attribute. iQuery. Navigation data can be retrieved by implementing iQueryable attribute interface on receiving class. That's fascinating. Okay. I figured that they would just pass you the args here, but I guess they don't. Okay, so that's interesting. So I think that like then in my... I guess I wouldn't want these then here. So let's go ahead and delete that then. Okay, and then in my main view model, let's delete that stuff. Yeah, it's weird that it is sending that stuff down. I mean, some of this code is decent, but I think what I would want to do is I'd want to implement the iQueryable attributable. And then like apply attribute. Okay. So then what this is saying here is that I would need to then do something like this, which is passing this in. And this is saying, whoa, not that. just do if, there you go. If it gets it, else false. Okay, so that should actually do it then. And then we don't have to try these parameters. You know, and then you could say if is editable. Back to this. Okay, let's try that out. I think that should work. Yeah. Because sometimes it can't figure out every single thing that you could do. The AI can't figure out every single thing in general, right? I think here I could have asked it to implement this and do it in general. But this is, I think, correct. This is a weird one that I'm just trying to actually like learn in general, like how this should be. Okay, so that should be fine. So we have our coffees here. So let's tap on that. I'm gonna change this to 26, hit save. So that one did change our coffees. That's good. So that is correct. And then that's going to change it back. Now, the interesting part is that what I don't know what's going to happen is if I hit save again. Okay, like if I hit save again, what I don't know is if, so this should, see, it shouldn't be there, right? You know what I mean? Like this should be save. And then now go to async. I should go here, my query. Oh, crazy. Wow. It has it. It has it and it's set to true. Okay, so this is actually like maybe a Maui bug of some sort that I definitely navigated back, but then I said it is navigated to false. Like here, this is gonna parse correctly. Like, so all of that is to say that, yeah, like this navigation thing seems kind of like a bug, in my opinion, of how this is actually gonna work. So the fascinating part is that, like, I think everything that it added already, like, did work correctly. Wow. Okay. So what ended up happening there is that iQueryable attribute stuff, everything was correct. So Copilot was correct. And this seems like a weird Maui bug, in my opinion, in general. That's my thinking, at least, is that like it shouldn't be there. Like it shouldn't be there in general, in my opinion. Which means I can't really rely on that. To actually work correctly. So there's a few things that I could do. So for example, I could on my edit coffee view model, we could obviously do this. So this would you could do var has changed, and then oh yeah, you could do, yeah, now we no longer need this. Boop. And then you could just say, oh, has it changed? Get rid of this. And then you could just move this down to here. Say has. There we go. From there. So then we could just pass this back and say has changed coffee. So then I'll just pass that back every time. the problem that we have is like if the back button was pressed, basically. So that's something that we would have to actually figure out in general. So this will just always pass this is edited back, basically. Again, I might at this point like save some variable, maybe to settings or something like that. I'm not positive. It's a real funky one, I would say, as far as like what it's actually supposed to do. I'd have to go like dive through the code and ask the team probably. So now this should at least, you know, now it's actually going to do what I want it to do, but that was pretty like really upbeat music. All right, let's see here. So go here, save, has changed. That's good. That's good. At least now it's going to, you know, set it correctly basically inside the code. So I go back to here, hit save, parameters, false. Now it's going to come back over and it's not going to refresh the page basically. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and turn off all the breakpoints. I guess I could just use the app as is, come back here, hit this. It's not going to refresh. It's going to go back. It goes back really fast. I don't know why the... should navigate back faster. Okay. What else parameters do I have? There we go. True. Okay. Let's go ahead and save this, I guess. And let's have Copilot figure out what I want it to actually do. Okay. All right. That was a little bit much work for that, I would say. But that's on Maui. I think for navigation changes, I'm not actually sure if that's a me problem. So let's hit done on this and let's go there. Okay, cool. All right. Let's see what else I have here. So one thing I was thinking about doing too in the app is I would like to not just like only have, you know, my coffees that I enter. I think what I really want is like a database of coffees. Oh, did I break it? Uh-oh. Oh. Oh, what did I do? State. Oh, animate. Oh, that's my bad. That's my bad. That should compile. Oh. See, should have let it do a code review. Oops, my bad. Did that fix it? Oops. Oops. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. Hey, how's it going? We are just doing some things here. Push and pull. Cool. That sounds good. Okay, so that should actually do it. I like that it found a Chev online too. Okay. Boop. 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 Okay, there we go. Now it actually, I don't know why is it false by default? Oh, that's cool. All right, animated back. Cool, fixed it. All right. So the one thing I was thinking about doing, I'm passing has coffee changed. That's correct. Well, this is just local. Yeah, just here. So that's correct. No, that's all good. Okay, so the other thing I was thinking of doing is adding another page to the app where I could add a not just a coffee, but like ideally I would want like a like it is a coffee. That's the thing, is inside of our data, inside of here we have a coffee service, and that's like the coffee drank in our model is our coffee here. And that's like the number of coffees there. But I think what I want is like a type of coffee, which has a name, roaster, roasted date on it, like a database basically, like origin, of where it's from. So that could be kind of cool. So it'd be like a coffee bag of coffee. Oh, this is dotnet Maui. Yeah. Let's add a new feature to the application that's going to enable me to add a new bag of coffee, which has a roaster, the name of the coffee, the origin of the coffee, and the roast date of the coffee. And I'd like another page in the application that I can manage those coffees that I am drinking. Okay, so we're gonna see if this goes off and does it basically, yeah, and can add this in here too. Okay, so it's gonna, no, it already is a coffee model. I'm gonna see if it, okay, so it's gonna use MVVM. I don't know, oh, it's gonna try to, I think it might, yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's not what I wanted to do though. Let's undo. And then let's remove that. I'd like to add another page of the application that allows me to track the bag of coffee that I'm, oh, oops, no, stop. I'd like to add another page to the application that allows me to track the bag of coffee that I'm drinking. And what I want to do is have a new data type called bag of coffee. And this one would have the name of the roaster, the roast date, the type of coffee, the level of roasted of the coffee, and the origin of the coffee. And then on this new page, I would like for it to specifically allow me to enter the bags of coffee. So don't change any of the sometimes with the voice to text, it just automatically sends it. So let's see. Yeah. I'm going to check the number of tokens. I actually don't know. It might be like online, I think maybe. I'm not really positive though, in general. That's a good one. You might have to Bing Google that one. So there. Okay, let's see. So it's going to create this bag of coffee. Beautiful. We have a roast date. We have a roast level. Date added. Oh, that's nice. Origin as well. ID, coffee roaster. Beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Bag of coffee service. I don't actually know if it needs a whole bag of coffee service, but maybe. Sure. Oh, wow. Add bag of coffee. It's, wow, cool. Okay, so it's learned off of all of the, so this one is learned off of what I did. So it basically said, okay, here's your bag of coffee service. This was going to create a, it's going to use the coffee DB, but it is going to use the existing one that's in there. I could have it use the existing coffee service instead of creating a new bag of coffee service, so we could tell it that. But then it's gonna, yeah, create my view models for me. It's a beautiful thing. Coffees, order by descending. Cool. Load coffees, add a coffee, doing all the stuff. And then my assumption, it's gonna have like a whole bag of coffee thing. What I wanted to do is I usually have like one database that's just me and John. It should have a delay. Actually, I was talking to the team about it and I said, it almost moves too fast sometimes. And I'm trying to like keep up with what it's doing. So it's like before every step, let me like check out the code. But I think it's kind of going to be like, hey, I'm going to be like editing the code and doing stuff. You know what I mean? So it kind of wants you to wait till it's done, I think. But it does move fairly fast, I would say. That is for sure. Because even here, it's going to like add a bunch of new things in here, including the service. I am out of coffee, which is sad. So we'll have to wrap this stream up pretty soon. But I'm curious if this is at least going to change some stuff. Let's see. My program. Yeah, I think like as far as scaffolding things, I mean, it's pretty good. And obviously we added a new feature as well. That worked pretty well too. Ooh. Is that an I value converter for me? That's cool. All right. All right, I see you. If it is an enum, that's cool. Did it add a coffee page? Oh, it did. Oh, whoa. Oh, wow. Oh, it added a frame. Fascinating. Which it probably shouldn't have. It should use a border. But, oh, we have a collection view. Added a swipe view to be able to delete it. Wow. Oh, my gosh. All right. All right. Let's see. I've completed setting up the new bag tracking feature. That's probably what I should have called it. That now includes a new coffee bags page, accessible from the main navigation, ability to add the new coffee roaster, list view of all your coffee, swipe to delete functionality, very unnecessary. You can now access it by doing this. It's integrated with SQLite. Do you want me to make any adjustments? Would you like to test it out? I'm going to go ahead and test it out first. Thank you so much. This is looking beautiful. I don't know. You don't really need to talk to it necessarily. So, but let's see what. I wonder if it's like going to do something. Oh, there you go. Okay, you're welcome. Okay, go ahead and test it out. All right, let's see if it builds. Let's give it a rebuild. It does say there's a bunch of problems, so we'll see. Oh, it looks like a bunch of errors. Okay, oh, roast level there. Looks like there's some warnings that the roast level enum wasn't created. Can you create that for me? I don't know exactly what it's gonna roast, but it'll probably be low, light, medium, dark, I assume is gonna be it. So boop. Roast level. Yeah. Oh, medium light. Medium, dark. Italian. Oh, it's a little bit of me. Beautiful. Okay, let's see if this builds up now. Does say there's some things. Oh. Doesn't actually implement that thing. Oh, I try all of it. Oh, okay. Looks like there's one error about not implementing all of the iNavigation aware async on the bag of coffee view model. And there's also some nullability warnings in the enum to list converter. Can you fix that up for me? Oh, where are my rest risks from these here? Let me see if I can see it in the OBS here, if it's gonna pop up. This puppy here. This is from Grove Made. Grove Made. So you probably see this in a lot of videos. Grove Made. It's based out of Portland. They're pretty expensive. Like they have these desk shelves. I have one of these. In general, this is like the exact one I have. I have the extra large one, and then they also have a bunch of accessories as well, like these little drawer things. But if you go to shop, and I have this tray, and then I have wrist rests, and there's trackpad stuff. I actually have the different one. I have the MX keys. I have no, not the MX keys. I have the Apple with keypad. I have this one in walnut, and then I have these, so you can have a keyboard tray as well. And then they also make the wrist rests, which you would need to say no keyboard tray. That's the keyboard. Where's the oh, it's this one. It's the trackpad one, the trackpad wrist rest, but it's like pretty expensive. It's on here somewhere, but yeah, Grove Made is the company that I have all that stuff from. Okay, cool. It did a bunch of stuff for me. Cool. Thank you. Perfect. Okay, let's keep it. And it's still in the edit mode here in this window. So let's see if it runs for us. So yeah, wrist rests for both the mouse and trackpad, and then also for the keyboard. So I have them side by side. All right. Oh, it built. Okay, cool. Beautiful. All right. Oh, actually, I didn't even look at the user interface at all. I did add it into here. I'm just going to trust it. I don't know. Seems legit. Legit. Coffee bags. All right. Whoa. Hey-oh. Oh, nice. Wow, my coffee collection. Wow, that's cool. Oh, my goodness. That's neat. Let's find a coffee maybe that I recently got. Fellow coffee drops. Okay, so I recently got a coffee drop. Let me explore their past ones. It was like fellow coffee drop fruit cake. That's the one I got. Let's see what's in here. Yeah, that's the one I got. Yes, perfect. I got this one time. This is a fellow drop that I got. So this would be an ideal where I have like a, this is from Black White Roasters, Black and White Roasters. So it was like around holiday time. It was like a very funky, good coffee. That is for sure. Here. So this is a, oh, I should have tasting notes on it. So this was like coffee name was the Future Fruit Cake. Origin, I don't know, the roast date would have been like, I don't know, it was like sometime around like November maybe. Roast level, ooh, that didn't work. So whatever this pop-up is, this list selector didn't work there. That's fascinating. We can take a look at what it's actually binding to. And then like origin, yeah, we could put this in there. Okay, so I think the thing that I'd want to do is add tasting notes. Well, I guess what I have tasting notes on, yeah, okay. Let's add tasting notes to the bag of coffee and make sure that the UI is also updated there too. I also have a lot of fellow products. So I have like the Aiden here. I also have like the grinder, the Gen 2 ode, and then I have like a kettle, stag kettle. That was a Kickstarter on that one though. I think also the cool part is just like multi-testing here, yeah, as well. Oh, Rob, hey Rob, how's it going, buddy? Thanks for being a subscriber. I appreciate that. A member, if you will. You may have addressed this, but would TDD test room be very important to ensure correctness of AI collaboration? Yeah, I mean, you could just ask it to create the tests as well. That would be pretty fine, I would say. If you want to, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not really a TDD person. I'm not really a tester. So, but there's some really great videos on like the VS Code channel, like for end-to-end tests. Like Debbie on my team actually did one about talking about playing with Playwright and having it generate tests with GitHub Copilot there. But yeah, like you could, like if I wanted to, I could have it just generate the test first. Like I'd say only generate the test for this and do nothing else. You know what I mean? And then you could validate, and then you could actually fan out the tests inside of it as well if you wanted to. So that could be kind of something that you could easily do inside of it. You know what I mean? So yeah. Oh, interesting. Why does it have a string not null empty converter? I don't think it needs that. Okay, so let's see here. I don't know why it created a string not null or empty. I don't know why it did that. We don't need to use the string not null or empty converter at all. It should just always be visible to have tasting notes on it. Oh, cancel that. Yeah, actually. Oh, I see what it did. It's because we added it later. Oh, that's cool. Oh, fascinating. All right. I like it. So it actually, I read it wrong. So here, for example, it did pick it. It did add the tasting notes in an editor. Whoa, that's cool. Auto size. Oh, I didn't even know that existed. Does that exist? Frame is obsolete. Yeah, we need to. Okay. Then we can do this, and then we can say Copilot. Can you change this frame to a border with rounded corners? Gonna see if it does it. Do. It totally did. That's rad. Cool. All right. It totally did it. Oh, it didn't change it at the bottom, but it should have. Border. There we go. Do. Okay. And then, oh, it actually has a frame down here too. Oh, next. See, this is the next edit suggestion. So I was like, hey, you probably want to do this. And then you probably also want to do that. Smart. That's great. Okay. And then where's this one at? This one is the one that I need to do manually because it's like so crazy new that it definitely is not going to do it. But we need to do x:\data type equals. I think that also what's pretty fascinating about much of this is that it started to also just use all the great data binding. It addressed all the performance problems for me automatically. So like that's pretty neat in general. Your free tokens do restart every month. I don't know where you see the token count. You know, to Google that. I think on GitHub.com, I assume, but I don't have the free mode. I have a pro mode. So there. Okay, let's. I'm fascinated if. Oh, interesting. So one thing is it wasn't showing the picker. It's using this enum to list converter. So it should actually work. Oh, I think I want to cast it to strings, I assume. Oh, hey, Adam. How's it going? I don't know. That's a good question. I'd have to like see like with like the X unit test or something like that. Okay, let's do bags of coffee. Okay, so it is an enum type. Should get the ooh. Oh, tasting notes. All right, that's cool. And then I didn't actually get it. I didn't get this. Okay, let me see what the bag of coffee is. This is saying on the roast level. Source is item source is the roast level. Let's change the picker on the bag of coffee page to actually bind to a string list in the code behind and then convert back and forth from that string list to a enum in the view model. I don't know. Fancy enum list converters, maybe. I don't know. Oh, file creation placement. Yeah, you can tell it. Randy, you can tell it where to put the files. So one thing I noticed, at least several weeks ago, is that if the parent folder was exactly the same as the child folder, so for example, like if I open this in Finder, so for example here, the name of my parent folder is My Coffee App, and then the app code is here. That seemed to work really well. But if the parent folder was also More Coffee and it was More Coffee, I think it might have got confused where to put it, like put it in the parent directory, not the child directory. but that was several weeks ago. So like, I don't know, it's an insider build, so it changes every night, right? Which is fascinating. But what I did the very first time is that I just told it to put it in subfolders called models or view models, and then I kind of did it. And you can also ask it to move it too. So that's kind of nice too. Okay. This is looking correct so far. Yes. Get names. Perfect. Yeah, that's fascinating, Randy, because mine is doing that. It is actually analyzing it. So for mine, for example, it added all the models into the model folder, and it added it into the services folder automatically. We're using GPT-4o or using like Claude or something else. Manuel, we don't know. I don't know where it's at. I don't know where the tokens are at. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's see if this shows up now. Let's run it. Oh, interesting. Mine seems to be doing it. So, it's hard to say. Like your project might be a little bit different, but yeah, mine seems to be doing it. And what's fascinating, right, is like here, it added that new file into the views, even though there are other XAML pages outside of here that were created like with the default template. That's there too. Oh, it's a Blazor app. Oh, interesting. All right, coffee bags. All right. Rose level. Oh man, why didn't it do it? Huh. Let me go back to my bag of coffee. Coffee picker. Huh. Well, that is of interest. Go to my view model, bag of coffee. Roast levels. Huh. Unless for some reason it didn't get that correctly. I mean, that looks correct. No, let me relaunch it because it's going to need to. Oh, thanks, Randy. Coffee bag? Oh, what? What? How come that did? How come it didn't go in here? Maybe I was just running it. Maybe I wasn't actually debugging it. Oh, I didn't hit the... Oh, fascinating. Okay, I thought I had the debug button. Copy bag? Wait, what? I'm definitely debugging it. How come it's not hitting that view, that creation of the thing? What? What? That doesn't make any sense. Okay. Let me do, that one does look good. Let me clean and then rebuild. Something's going on in my project. That's true, Raina. That's a great point. I do both. I usually have VS and VS Code up both as well. I mean, obviously I'm on Mac right now, but yeah, how come that didn't? I'm just gonna make sure this actually is hitting these breakpoints. My dog's very excited to leave this office. You decided to come in here. I don't know what you want. Oh, no. Okay, so okay, now it's debugging. Okay. Uh-huh. What? How did that? How did it even? Wait, what? That's crazy. Wait. Didn't pipe it through. Huh. Hey, we didn't pipe through the view model into our coffee page for dependency injection. Can you hook that up? I bet that all of it was working, but it didn't pipe through the dependency injection. Oops, that's funny. Man, that's funny. Remember, I work at Microsoft, so like I obviously prefer our products first and foremost. I haven't used Cursor all that much, to be honest with you. I use Visual Studio and VS Code for like everything that I do, and obviously, what's great about Copilot is I use it on the web. I use it for pull request reviews, both on GitHub.com, inside of here, and then I do a lot of work between those two different IDEs, and then obviously with GitHub Copilot, you know, there's extensions for Xcode, IntelliJ, NeoVim, things like that. So you can kind of use it everywhere. But I use many of the features more than just like in the editor as well. I kind of think of the whole end-to-end, including like my Azure deployments and things like that too. Anyways, that looks good. Perfect. Okay, cool. Rad. And yeah, like I don't have like a feature comparison breakdown necessarily, but I don't know, like I use so many of the features of Copilot all the time, so I love it. Especially I've been using a lot of the new agent modes, so yeah, and lots of different models to use as well. So yeah, and I'm using the new GPT-4o Copilot model here, which is really impressive. Actually, it's like really fast. Okay. All right. Yes, I have that breakpoint. Perfect. Let me remove that. Okay. Copy bags. Ayo. Now I'm like, why wasn't I hitting breakpoints? Because it wasn't getting dependency injected. Perfect. All right, cool. All right. Amazing. And of course that worked. Nice. Okay. That one was actually like a medium light, I would say. I think you can grab names off the top too, but let's re-enter that in here and let's see if that works. This is black and white roasters, coffee name, the future, fruitcake. Origin was Costa Rica, Colombia, and Uganda. And the tasting notes are, from them at least, peach cobbler, berry compote, and cinnamon roll. And then that one, somewhere around there. Boop. Amazing. That's pretty good. I just did that whole thing for me there. That's nice. Okay, so the next thing that I would want to do is actually, instead of just adding a coffee here into this list, I don't want to pick one from the coffee that I actually have, right? I still want to do it like ad hoc in general, but I would want to basically do this and go back and forth, which would be cool. So then I want to like clean up those names. I think I can do that as well. But anyway, that's pretty cool. I mean, I just added the entire new page in like no time at all, which is pretty rad. So that is cool. Let me go ahead and commit that code. Let me go ahead and have Copilot generate that commit. Beautiful. Yes. Sync those changes back. Amazing. And then, yeah, I could do another Copilot review, but let me go ahead and I'm going to redo the thing here. So it's going to yep, cool. Let me go ahead and create that. Beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, so then like if I wanted to, right, I could come here and then I could request Copilot to review the code pull request from here. as well. So now Copilot will come here. So if I don't want to wait for it here, I'm just going to have someone like check it off and do a bunch of stuff as well. So now Copilot's going to go kick in and wait from there too. So, which is pretty rad. All right, that's it. That's 2 hours of live coding with GitHub Copilot. New agent mode, which is super rad. We added a bunch of new functionality to the app. Using the new next edit suggestions NES, which is super rad. And the new model is like super good. Anyways, let's do one more thing before we get out of here. I can do that last member gifting. I got 5 more of those. Like, boom, let's give them away there. I dropped some new videos. You get some cool emojis, and then you get that little icon on there, at least for a bit. Doesn't cost anything. So you get some sweet memberships. Oh, Aiden and Wellington, Saber as well, Nuno and Randy as well, Rad, Peter as well. So obviously that's just like a free month, and then it goes away after that. But help support the channel if you do want to keep subscriptions going. I make all these videos in my spare time, live stream in my spare time, like this beautiful Sunday morning. Very rainy where I'm at right now today, but I love doing all this stuff and love hanging out with y'all. So I hope that you had a fun kind of experiment going and actually doing some live coding along with us. Thanks for chiming in. And yeah, definitely let the team know your feedback. Like the biggest thing you can do if you're using GitHub Copilot anywhere is hit that feedback button and let it know how it goes. So Randy, for example, yeah, like let them know, like leave the comments, do the thing, help improve the AI out by giving it feedback of what you're doing as well, which is cool. So it's really great to see and hang out there. Thanks for hanging out with the new setup. Glad it's all going pretty good so far. So that's super rad. And of course, yeah, share some stuff. Check out the videos. If you haven't checked the full agent demo video, definitely give that a try as well. But yeah, I'm going to go enjoy my Sunday. I hope you all have a good one. I can't believe it's going to be March already soon. Thanks to Stream Beats and Harris Heller for the music that you have here as well there too. And then, yeah, if you want to see that source code too, and you want to see like that PR coming in real time. Yeah, there's actually like a whole bunch of stuff. So you want to see some fun stuff that just happened, right? Go definitely check out that pull request that I just linked. And you're going to see GitHub Copilot giving me a bunch of suggestions as well. At least like one thing, a bunch of cool things here. So fascinated to see what it's doing. So, all right, well, it's going to do it here. I don't have like a cool fancy outro or anything like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit the end stream button. Thanks everyone for hanging out. And we'll check you at some time. Maybe it won't be a year until I stream again. We'll see. So thanks everyone for hanging out and for all the great stuff. Let's do some little celebration emojis over there. Let's just go ahead and do that. Let's put some mooches in the chat as well. A little celebration. I love that. You get those little mooch emojis as well with the membership. All right, everyone. I will talk to you later. Have a great weekend or start to your week wherever you're at, or night as well. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye. Boop.